All right, welcome to our Walnut High School families for our YouTube Live. We are attempting to do a parent webinar, so we apologize if there are any technical difficulties. But today we're going to go over our distance learning resource guide that you can see on our screen right now. We will send this to you after our YouTube Live, so it's going to be a hyper doc where you're able to click on different tabs and go over all the different expectations, tutorial support. We really want to inform you before we start school on Monday. Since this is a YouTube Live, I believe on the right here, you can ask questions, and we will try our best to respond to your questions as we go through the presentation. Obviously, as we're presenting, we're not going to get to every single question, but we will try our best to answer every single question that we can. And if we didn't answer your question, just please reach out to us in some way by the end of this, or shoot us an email. I want to make some introductions. First, my name is Ryan Main. I'm the principal of Walnut High School. I'm going to introduce in order of who will be talking. So I'm going to introduce first is Barbie Cole. She's our instructional dean. Hi, Barbie. All right. Next one is Nelson Chen. Actually, Barbie, can you talk real quick so we can see your face?
Oh, sure. I'm Barbie Cole. I'm the instructional dean of math, science, physical education, and health. I would like to talk to you today about our distance learning daily schedule and calendar.
Awesome. And then we're going to go over our tutorial. Nelson Chen will go over that. So Nelson, are you there?
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Nelson Chen. I am the instructional dean for English, social science, career technical education, and dual enrollment.
Thank you, Nelson. Next, we have our new assistant principal, Dr. Andrea Poma, who will be talking about student expectations and how GLCs will support as well. Dr. Poma, are you there?
I am here, and I'm excited to begin the school year as your new assistant principal. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to share our distance learning expectations tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Poma. Next up, we have Marta DeBell, our instructional dean as well, who will be talking about student support and how we can support some of our students with IEPs, 504s, EL, and just different ways that we can find ways to support your kids. So Marta, are you there?
I'm here, Ryan. Hi, I'm Marta DeBell. I'm the instructional dean of special programs, which includes special education, English learners, visual and performing arts, and world languages.
Next up, we have, it is Friday night right now, and it is someone's birthday. So he's giving up his Friday night to spend with us. I'd like to introduce our school psychologist, Mr. Rob Code, who will be talking about social emotional support during distance learning for our students. Rob Code, are you there, Mr. Birthday Boy?
Good evening. Good evening. Thanks for spending the evening with us. Thank you, Dr. Main.
It's actually a birthday party for you right now. So everyone's going to sing to you, which we'll figure it out. All right, next up, we're going to go over teacher tips. Our head basketball coach, Joe Kazam, as well as our health teacher, has a sophomore at Walnut High School. He's taught summer school, so he has experience with distance learning. He has a son who's going through the same thing you're going through, parents. So we wanted Mr. Kazam to come on here and give us some tips on what it's like being a parent as well as a teacher who's went through summer school. Coach Kuz, are you in the house?
Good evening, everybody. Hello, Mustangs. Look forward to start with everybody on Monday, and hopefully this helps everybody get through this difficult time.
Thanks, Coach. Two more. We're going to talk about safety and what we're doing to keep our campus as safe as possible. Situations of if you need to come on campus. I want to introduce our operations manager, Conchita Cawley. Conchita, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Conchita Cawley, and I am the operations manager here at Walnut High School. And I'll be briefly speaking with you a little bit later just about some safety protocol and guidelines that we have on campus.
Thank you. And last but not least, speaking of distance learning, we have a lot of tech support and gained our teachers up and running on a virtual platform. The man behind the scenes has been Kevin Wenlin doing that for our teachers. He's going to talk about some resources that you might need as parents as we close out our presentation tonight. Kevin, are you there?
I am, sir. Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about tips that we have for technology and some resources for you as we go into distance learning.
All right, thank you. We're now going to get started. Remember, if you have questions, feel free to ask. We'll try our best to answer. But please remember, if you can ask questions based on the tabs that we're going to go through. So if you have a question that relates to maybe student safety, wait till we get to that so we can work through it together. First up, this is our distance learning resource guide that we'll share with you after. We will embed some videos from this presentation as well, so it's able to help you get through this. Just as a reminder, our front office hours will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It's by phone appointment only if you want to come on campus and if you need anything, and Conchita Colley will talk to you about that if you do need anything. But just if you need anything, please call. Our front office will be available to answer any of your questions or get you to the right person. All right, first thing, Barbie Cole is going to talk about our schedule and what that looks like for your students starting on Monday. Barbie?
Here is our schedule. It is made up of 4 days of 80-minute blocks, followed by 3 25-minute tutorial periods. Monday and Wednesday, the periods are periods 1, 2, 3. Then they'll have lunch, and then it'll be followed by period 4 tutorial, period 5 tutorial, and period 6 tutorial, which are 25 minutes long. The students will also have 2 breaks of 15 minutes throughout the morning for their time just to take a little break and get away from their computers. On Tuesday and Thursday, it's going to be very much the same. It's periods 4, 5, and 6 in the morning, and then their tutorial periods 1, 2, and 3. The configuration of the instructional blocks and the tutorial periods allow the teachers to see their students every day of the week. The students will have a 40-minute lunch every day, and on Friday, the students will attend all 6 periods for 40 minutes each. Every day, students will have both live synchronous instruction and some asynchronous instruction. Teachers will greet their students and take attendance every day. Those students who are taking AP Science classes will have additional lab times, just as they do during the regular schedule of non-distance learning. Students that are enrolled in the first period course will begin school at 7:15 a.m. and then continue on into their first period block. From students that are enrolled in the 6th period AP course will continue after their tutorial for 6th period from 2:05 to 3:15 p.m. Those students who are taking AP Science courses during the middle of the day will be enrolled in either an afternoon lab or an evening lab. Both of these labs occur on Mondays. Afternoon lab is from 4 to 6:15, and the evening labs are from 6 to 8:15. All science courses, regardless of whether they're college prep, honors, or AP, will have a combination of teacher demonstration and virtual lab as part of their courses. Students will receive an email from each of their teachers prior to Monday morning with instructions on how to access their Google Classroom and any additional link that the teachers would like them to use. The August distance learning calendar link has been provided for you.
Real quick, Barbie, I'm going to go over PE and athletics because I know we've had some questions with that. PE will still happen, so it is still a class that our kids will get credit for, and our PE teachers have been working behind the scenes to make sure that the instruction will be relevant and our kids will be doing things that keep them active. As far as athletics, CIF gave an update that they've broken the sports into 2 seasons starting in January. So we will provide more updates to that, but we will have no sports until practice beginning in December if we're allowed. We are working with the district right now and the Department of Health to see down the road as we get numbers start to even out as far as coronavirus cases and hopefully lower, that we can bring kids on campus possibly in groups of 5 to 10 for conditioning. And then as we get closer to the season and we're allowed, we can start doing some practices. So we'll send updates with that. Our athletic director will do that. And then as far as distance learning, everybody will be 100% distance learning right now. If we do come back hybrid or full time, the district will provide resources where if you want to continue to do distance learning, it will be through independent study, which they'll send information on that. There is a lot of information that goes into that. So it'll be hard to answer the questions on the comments right now. But just please understand we are all 100% distance learning. When we do go back, you'll have the option to continue to do virtual, but it will look a little different when the district will send updates on that. All right, sorry about that, Barbie. Now we'll get into our August calendar.
Okay, you've been provided with an August calendar that shows you what days are block days and which days are regular 6-period days. This also includes our minimum days. And on the next page, you'll see that there is a link to the distance learning calendar for the rest of the semester should we stay on full distance learning. There's also our minimum day schedule, which is different than a regular block or regular day schedule.
And once we send this out, that hyperlink will be a distance learning calendar for your reference. If you see on the calendar as well, back to school night will look a little different. Our teachers will provide some type of PowerPoint video like we're doing right now, going over the expectations, grading, contact information, and then we'll eventually link that to our website on August 27th. So you'll be able to see your child's class and the expectations and contact info, and we'll send more info as that comes. Thank you, Barbie. Next up, we have tutorial. So with our schedule is tutorial. I'm going to have our Dean, Nelson Chen, talk about what does that look like for our students. Go ahead, Nelson.
All right. Hi again. So for tutorial, what we need to know, what you need to know is that teachers will be available Monday through Thursday between 1:10 to 2:30. Feel free, please, to look at the approved schedule on the next page. And just to better understand which tutorial is assigned on which day. There are 3 25-minute block periods. The purpose for tutorial is to provide additional academic support for your student. This may appear as a whole group instruction, a small group instruction, individual instruction, some sort of intervention, enrichment, remediation, and also social emotional learning that our teachers may provide and give advice for. Next page. Just to also answer, there are no new instruction that will be introduced. Students are encouraged to be proactive and seek assistance. We understand that our teachers are going to be readily available during this time to provide support. And we highly advise that students take initiative and empowered to definitely reach out to the teachers to make those appointments. Attendance is not required unless the teacher requests the student to be there. And for this instance, a teacher is going to fill out a tutorial slip, and the GLCs will also be able to see that student that's going to be required to be meeting with that teacher during that tutorial. So if a student is asked to meet with a teacher, and unfortunately, if the student is not there, the GLCs will be notified immediately, and don't be surprised if you get a call or the student gets notified. It is also important to know that during this tutorial time that IEP meetings may happen, 504 meetings, speech pathologist meetings, teacher prep time, department collaboration, and also staff meetings.
Thanks, Nelson. I want to go back to our schedule real quick, and I'll go over a page here. Daily live instruction. Our teachers are going to, it's going to take probably a week or two for them to find that rhythm of how often will they be live with their kids. Some teachers might do a whole day of lecturing, and then the other day might be them working on assignments and reviewing. So some days you might see your kids in front of the screen a lot. Other days you might see them working asynchronously by themselves. But we're really, we've been doing a lot of work this week of just preparing our staff to hopefully find that sweet spot with our students so they're not in front of the screen the entire day, to where they're able to take breaks and separate from the screen. So thank you, Nelson. We're now going to go into Dr. Poma, who's going to talk about student expectations during distance learning. All yours, Dr. Poma.
All right, good evening again. Before I get into the expectations, I did want to let you know that your students will have the opportunity to have all of this information presented to them. It will be on their GLC's link on our Walnut High School web pages, as well as they will be given information in their English classes come Monday. So they will have ample opportunity to have all of this information given to them as well. So let's start with attendance. It is the belief of the Walnut High School staff that attendance in school is paramount for the teaching learning sequence to take place, especially during distance learning. It's also the intent of our state legislature that children in California are to attend school. So please note the following attendance guidelines. Students are to be logged into their classes at the start of their assigned class period. We are going to be taking attendance, and it is going to be very important that they're there and they're there on time. Students will need to keep their cameras on for attendance, participation, and checking for understanding. All absences are to be cleared by a parent or guardian within 1 school day. So you may clear the absence by contacting the attendance office. And I would also like to encourage you to have your child reach out to their teachers so that they can obtain information regarding the work they will be missing during their absence. It is also important to note that if a student has been absent for 2 or more consecutive days without a parent or guardian contact, the student will be referred to their GLC by the attendance office so that we can actually start the process of re-engaging their student into school. Additionally, if a student has been absent for 5 or more consecutive school days without parent contact, their GLC and administration will conduct a home visit to again try to re-engage them back into the learning environment. Tardies will be handled according to the current WHS tardy policy, and consequences for poor attendance may range from conferences to attendance contracts, including but not limited to school attendance review teams and referrals to the school attendance review board. Our next area of discussion is classroom expectations. Students will need to attend every class every day and be on time. They will also keep their cameras on for attendance, as I discussed in the attendance information. Their face must also be visible at all times. So if they're wearing beanies or any hats that obstruct their face, please encourage them to pull those back so that we can see their wonderful smiling faces. In order to receive daily credit, students must be logged in and ready to access all of the materials they need to. They need all of their materials with them so that they're not getting up and moving back and forth from wherever their workspace is within your home. Homework and class assignments are to be completed on time and to the best of the student's ability. Only behaviors which fit a positive learning environment are acceptable. Food is really not allowed. We don't want anyone chomping on anything during learning, but they can definitely bring something to drink during the learning process. Students are to comply with any requests from any staff member during this distance learning time. And if a student is pulled from class for any reason, they must report to the online location that they are directed to. And when they're finished, they need to go right back to class or to their next class, depending on what time that is. Next, we will talk about our cell phone and electronic device expectation, which is our next area of focus, and on the next slide. So cell phones should not be seen or heard unless given express permission by the teacher. Students are not allowed to take pictures in class, video or audio record in class, broadcast, screen record, take screenshots, record the teacher or lessons, make inappropriate, offensive, or threatening comments, misrepresent themselves in any way. They may not share their login credentials or trespass distance learning virtual sessions. Next is academic dishonesty. A student is considered to be academically dishonest if they are found to be cheating or violating test conditions, and I'll go over some examples of both of those. So some examples of cheating are copying in class and out of class assignments, copying another student's test paper, using cheat sheets or cheat websites, plagiarizing, changing or altering a given grade, telling a teacher that they made a mistake on the grade and they've changed it, assisting another student in cheating, including lending a paper or copying or supplying Google Drive information to their peers, and any unauthorized use of technological devices. Some examples of violating test conditions are unauthorized communication of any kind, assessing authorized materials, not adhering to verbal or written testing guidelines, and using any means of communicating information pertinent to the test during the testing. Next up is harassment, intimidation, and hate violence. The Walnut Valley Unified School District and Walnut High School are committed to equal opportunities for individuals in education. If your student feels, and this is important, if they feel that they are being intimidated in any way or see themselves as a victim of either sexual harassment, hate violence, or bullying, physical, verbal, social, or cyber, please report the incident to any staff member immediately. These actions are a violation of state, district, and school policies, and we take them very seriously. Please be aware that once an incident is reported, all parties involved will be immediately placed on a temporary no-contact contract until all restorative and conflict resolution meetings have occurred and an investigation has been conducted. After the meetings and investigation, the following consequences may be implemented: an extended or permanent no-contact contract, suspension, or at worst, an expulsion recommendation. I want to go over some violations of any of the expectations mentioned above may result in one of the following consequences: a warning, a student conference, parent conference, student reflection assignments or research assignments that will be delivered through their GLC, class suspensions, suspension, temporary or permanent loss of technology access, and expulsion recommendations. We'd like to thank you, parents and guardians, for partnering with us throughout this distance learning, and we have a few requests for you. In order to make distance learning a success for your student, please note the following privacy guidelines. So parents and guardians should not actively participate in distance learning virtual sessions. We want this to look like their regular school day. Do not transmit in any way any part of a distance learning virtual session, including posting on a social media platform. Please do not collect, discuss, or share any confidential or personal identifiable information related to distance learning participants. Please do not engage with students during distance learning virtual sessions. And please email your child's teacher if you have any questions or concerns. For more information about our student expectations, you may click on the link provided in this presentation. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dr. Palma. And I know if you can mute your mic. Sorry, I think I'm hearing an echo. I know that is a lot of information, but we just want to make sure we are giving you more information just so you understand just the expectations. We really want our students to succeed. I know with taking pictures and filming and some questions were, how do you know that kids are even doing that? Kids share things, it gets to us. So we just wanted just to be aware of respecting the kids' privacy if they don't want their picture taken. We might have teachers or coaches or people just saying, hey, we're doing a Zoom workout or something. Everybody, they'll let them know beforehand, can we take your picture? So just respecting the privacy of our kids. Some kids don't want to be have their face on social media or anything like that. So thank you, Dr. Poma. We're now going to move on to our supports that we put in for our students through distance learning. So I'm going to introduce Marta DeBell.
Hello, parents. As Ryan said, I'm Marta DeBell, and I'm the Dean of Special Programs. And actually, I want to share with you 2 reasons why I really love working at Walnut High School. So the first reason is that I absolutely love learning about all the diverse cultures that we have represented by our student population. Every spring, we do a language census that shows how many students speak what languages, and we actually have 34 different languages represented on our student body. And our student body is also 49% of our student body are non-native speakers of English. And because of that, we have now trained all of our staff in special ways of instructing our students and providing academic language development, which helps those students to meet the goals of graduation and academic success. We also have bilingual instructional aides that assist with our parent communications, and they can also support our students in their content area classes. And during distance learning, our ELD coordinator, Rebecca Chai, has created a special student space in which a lot of our English learners can go, and it's a safe, non-judgmental virtual room for students where they can just hang out, share their feelings and frustrations in any language they want to speak. The second reason that I love Walnut High School is that we really work as a team to provide opportunities of success for our students. I truly believe that all students can be successful. It just might look different for each person. And during distance learning, all our students, our special education and our 504 students will continue to receive a rigorous education and be provided the supports and services that we have set forth in their IEPs and their 504 plans. We have educational specialists and instructional aides that are available during the school day to support our students. in their content area classes, in a directed studies, and we are working on a virtual collaboration. And I'm now going to pass the microphone to Mr. Rob Code, who's going to talk about student supports for all our students.
Thank you, Marta. Yep, here we go. It's Rob Code, the birthday boy's turn. Rob, real quick, I don't know, Rob has spent so much time and investment in making sure that our kids are supported. He talks about layers of support, which he'll get into. But when we first met, we talked about how important it is for kids to be connected to our school. If they're not connected to their school or their teacher or friends or anything on our campus, they're not going to be as motivated in the classroom. So we really prioritize ourselves on student connectedness here at Walnut High School. And Rob's going to get into that right now. So the floor is yours, Rob.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening again, everybody. In terms of our students' just social and emotional well-being, one of the things that we know is exceptionally important is this idea of school connectedness or connection. And so over 30 years of research has gone on around this, and it's actually, if not it's one of the top 2 most important factors in what goes into a successful student. So as school connectedness or connection to those of us on campus, teachers, coaches, counselors, administrators, psychologists like myself, as connectedness goes up, we see the positive things that we look for, better attendance, higher grades, stronger test scores. And as connection breaks down, we start to see isolation. And around that isolation are the things that we as parents don't want to see. So withdrawal, depression, anxiety, things like that put our students at greater risk. So one of the things that we're looking at doing as a staff is taking these layers of support that we try to surround every student at Walnut High School with and translating that into a virtual world or an online model for the time being. So there's a couple things we want to share with you. And our goal is that a student will reach out to us if they need support and select one of these layers of support. On the resource guide we're giving you, you see a picture of our front page of our website. And since early in the summer, there's a Need Emotional Support button on there. And what that is a one-click resource for our students to just hit that button and share a little bit about themselves. If they feel that some level of support or just simply talking to an adult privately would help them process their feelings or do better in class, with friends, or connecting to their teachers or even their families. This is a private way that they can reach out to us, and it's not something that we share with other students, obviously, or even their teachers. It's a way that administrative or counseling staff can connect with a student in need. So as we re-share that with them for the coming year, you may hear about that. You may also see that on the website. And what that does is connect your student to an adult who is there to listen and help and hopefully refer them to places to get additional support if it's warranted. If we want to go on to the next page, we have some additional support for parents, and the district is in a partnership with Care Solace. And what Care Solace is a confidential resource for families to reach out for mental health support, counseling support, substance abuse issues, things that kind of surround our psychological well-being. And if that is something that is an issue for your family, you're able to follow this link. Again, it's confidential, so it's not shared back into the district, it's not shared back into the site, nor will we ever see what the concern is that's private for your personal family. If at some point you choose to share that with us so that we can help surround your family with additional support through school, that's great, but it would never come out of this referral network. So that's available to you 24 hours a day, and we left the link there. Before we dismissed due to the pandemic, we opened what's called the Mustang Stable on campus. And what that is, it's our version of a wellness center that's there to provide support and encouragement and care for our students during the day. And what it was is a safe place that students can go to speak to a peer counselor for peer support, to meet with an adult counselor or a psychologist like myself, to get resources. We have a resource wall for different issues that confront our students. It may range from an anxiety disorder to test anxiety to an eating disorder. We try to give kids carefully examined appropriate information about things that confront them in their life. Well, as our school closed, we've lost access to that. And so we're in the process of moving those same types of supports online into a virtual environment for our students. And the main way that students will access that right now is through the emotional support button that we saw on the previous page. And as they answer some questions for us after clicking that button, one of them is I would like to speak to an adult. I would like to chat with an adult if they're uncomfortable with a video camera, or I would like to use the Google Meet platform that the teachers are going to be using and talk kind of face-to-face with someone. There's also a button on there that if they prefer, we will link them with peer support, which are trained peer counselors on our campus. And anytime, just for your knowledge, that a student meets with a peer counselor, there's always a credentialed counselor or school psychologist or administrator available to essentially supervise that kind of conversation and make sure they don't need any additional resources from us. The final link for support is general to all of our families, regardless of age. And the National School Psychologists Association has created a link for resources for families around COVID-19, the pandemic, the breakdown in connection between students and their schools, and also some of the common questions and concerns about re-entering school as we begin to move forward through this time. Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
I'll say the toughest thing for educators, we didn't sign up to be virtual educators. We really got into this to connect with kids, see them during passing period as administrators, teachers seeing them in the classroom, counselors being able to connect with your kids one-on-one and have those meaningful conversations. So I think this is the toughest part for us as educators. We had our staff back this week, and it just didn't feel the same because we missed the kids. So we're hoping to get back, but in the meantime, we need to make this a priority, is the mental health of our students, and the same with our staff. And we got to make sure that we're all communicating. Parents, please, be aware of your child and just let us know if we can be any support, because we want to be there for them throughout this process. So thank you, Mr. Code. We're going to go on next to Mr. Kazan, who is going to tell us about some tips that he has come across as a parent. So I'm clicking too fast there. Sorry about that, Coach. Okay, so Coach has a sophomore, and he's taught online health during the summer. So he's got 6 weeks of teaching distance learning full-time with attendance and grades and the expectations. Coach, you want to give us some tips for some parents right now who are probably stressing out about this?
Absolutely. Good evening, Mustangs. As Dr. Main said, I'm trying to give you perspective as a teacher, as a coach, and as a parent. This is obviously a stressful situation for everybody involved, and that includes the kids. So, one of the things we need to make sure is that we give them a couple of weeks to kind of get in the flow and get comfortable with everything. They've got enough going on. So just a couple of things I put down: create an area where they can kind of just get away and kind of do their work. I would highly recommend trying to get them in a daily routine, and we absolutely need to get some physical activity in there. Enough studies show that the more physically active you are, the stronger and healthier you feel mentally. And at this state or this situation, we need our kids to be mentally healthy and also physically healthy. Try to encourage them to take a lot of breaks from electronics. And that includes their cell phones. They just need to put all that stuff down and go do something else, or go for a walk or a run, or do something in the house, whatever you feel is appropriate for them. One of the things with teaching summer school is make sure that you're checking your emails. I would recommend, as a parent, I would check it in the morning and in the evening. I do know I send a lot of stuff out throughout the day. And all us teachers are going to respond as soon as we can. And so if you have any questions, that's probably the best way to get a hold of them. As Mr. Code said, kids find a connection with their friends at school. And right now they don't have that opportunity. So I would encourage them to either FaceTime or Zoom friends or talk to friends as much as possible. They need that interaction with their friends and peers. As a coach, I know my players are just dying to get together. They keep asking me, when can we get back together? When can we work out together? And we have tried to do Zoom sessions with everybody, so that way they at least get to see each other. And I do think that kind of helped them out. Try to talk to your kids. I know it's tough as teenagers. It's really tough to talk to them, but try to really talk to them, see how their day's going, see what they're getting stuck on, what they're getting frustrated on. And this is going to be tough, but we're all going to get through it together because that's what Mustangs do. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. And I'll go back to a couple things. Is taking a break from electronics. Let's really monitor our students on, if you can, on social media. Just so much negativity going on and divisiveness. I think it's for them to take that break. Like Coach said, get outside, get some sunlight, and just some fresh air instead of being in front of the screen so much. Another thing too he talked about is having students talk to your child every day, even if they only give you a one-word answer, because they're teenagers and they say 2 words at a time. I'm good, Dad. So just make sure you check in with them and keep prying a little bit and just make sure they are doing okay. It may seem like they don't care, but they do. And continue to check in with them, ask them how their day's going, and ask them how class went. And lastly, on there, you put be proactive. It's important that kids don't sit back and wait. They need to be proactive and constantly checking their email, reaching out to teachers, and just being there, making sure that they're not doing things at the last minute. All right. Thanks, Coach. All right. Next, we have safety. Although this really, since a lot of you will be working obviously from home, with your child, we do want to let you know some safety protocols if you do need to come on campus. So I'm going to introduce our operations manager, Conchita Colley.
Good evening and welcome, Mustang families. Again, my name is Conchita Colley and I'm the operations manager for Walnut High School. I just wanted to briefly go over some campus guidelines and on-campus protocol. Currently, our campus is closed, including athletic areas, to students and the public. Front office staff members are available to assist you over the phone on school days from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Phone or email communication is preferred as in-person interaction is limited to appointments only. In the event that you or your student needs to visit campus, please contact your GLC and your teacher if necessary to schedule that appointment. So what can you expect when you arrive for that appointment? Please enter at the front office. All visitors will be required to present proper identification. Face masks or face coverings are required while you are on campus. Please make sure to follow social distancing recommendations, and we will have faculty and staff on site. So just remember that. Rest assured that campus safety is a top priority. Our staff members who are physically on campus are required to complete a daily self-assessment prior to their arrival. This assessment is based on CDC guidelines. Social distancing is strongly enforced, and of course, face masks or face coverings are required. So we're looking forward to the day that we can all be on campus together. Thank you for joining us tonight, and please be safe and take care.
Thank you, Conchita. If you can mute your mic real quick, I hear an echo. Thank you, ma'am. All right, so just as you see, our staff, every day we're checking in, doing our best to track everything, who's on campus, because we really want to get back. So we're following as much protocol as we can to do anything in our ability to get back on campus. Next, we have our resources. Our tech coach, Kevin Wenlin. Kevin, everybody has presented perfectly right now. So no pressure, but you are our last one today. So bring it home, big guy.
Hey, I'll do the best I can. Good evening, everybody. We're going to wrap this thing up with some resources for you. We know that you are having a hard time probably helping your kids out, and we want to give you some tools to help you out. So we've gone ahead and given you 4 videos to help you with your students. There's how to access Google Classroom, how to access email, how to access My Portal, and Google Chat. If we talk about Google Chat, Mr. Code talked about how important it is. You can go ahead and use Google Chat to contact your teachers or your GLCs if your child needs to reach out to someone. My Portal is also important. It's something that's on the student or the school website, and it actually has links to all the online textbooks. So if they can't remember the site that they need to go to access their book, they would access it through My Portal. The other thing that we put on this guide for you is a virtual tour of Walnut High School. If you're an incoming freshman or you're just new to Walnut High School, you don't get the opportunity to walk on our campus. So what we did this summer is we took a 360-degree camera and took 35 different pictures around our campus And we also included staff members and coaches talking about their programs or clubs so that you can go ahead and learn more about Walnut High School, even though you can't come on here. The other thing we have here for you are some resources. Ryan, if you could flip that for me.
Real quick before you're up, Kev, I want to remind parents that I know school starts Monday, so I think the most important thing you can do, make sure your child has access to their school email, make sure they have access to Aries, and make sure they have access to their Google Classroom, because that's how our teachers will be communicating. So that's just very important. So those will be tutorial videos for you to look after we send this, after our YouTube Live.
Thank you, sir. In terms of tech support, you guys are on out at home and something goes wrong and you don't know what to do. Most of your problems have to be fixed through the district. If you did not pick up your Chromebook today, then you're going to have to go through the district to pick those up. The other things that you'll have to contact the district for is if you need a Wi-Fi or hotspot access at home, if you're having issues logging into your Chromebook, resetting your password, or if your Chromebook just stops working, you're going to need to contact the district. We've attached the help desk email. It's wvhelp@usd.org. Go ahead and send an email with your child's information, and somebody will be in contact with you within 48 hours. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. That is going to wrap up our presentation. I want to quickly go over last slide and then show you just how the guidebook will work. And then we'll be here available for you if you have any questions throughout next week, or if anything you need from your teacher, or with the district as far as tech support. But we will send updates to the Friday forecast. We sent one today with a lot of updates, and we'll continue to do that. If any immediate updates happen regarding coming back to school, we'll make sure that we send that to you. Continue, like I said, Coach Coos talked about this, continue to check in on your child, make sure they're doing okay. Remember, it takes a village. So it's not just administrators, it's not just support staff, it's not just teachers, not just parents, not just students, it's all of us. So we all need to be in this together to make sure that we get through this, hoping to come back together, back to what we used to have. And then reach out if you need anything. And then lastly, it's going to take some time, but you will find your rhythm, I promise. I have 5-year-old twins right now going through virtual kindergarten, and it is not the best, but we're finding a rhythm. So we ultimately would love to have our twins back in school, but for the meantime, they're learning, they're growing, and they're starting to like it. So nothing can replace human face-to-face interaction, but in the meantime, we will try our best to make sure that this is a great environment for your child. And then when we send this form, or sorry, not this form, this presentation to you, these tabs you can click on. If you need to look anything up, we'll have all of this ready for you. I would bookmark this link on your web browser, and you can click on any of these. And it's a live document, so we can add more stuff on here. If you click on support, or you go to Coach Coos' tips, whatever you need, we'll be there to help you out. So thank you so much. We're looking forward to our first day of school on August 10th. Remember, that is a minimum day. Check the schedule. And if you need anything, please reach out. Remember the layers of support Mr. Code talked about, and we will be here for you. So we're looking forward to this, and we'll give you any updates as we go through this school year. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank Nelson Chen, Dr. Poma, Coach Coos, Kevin Wendland, Robert Code, Barbie Cole, Marta DeBell, and Conchita Colley for giving up their Friday afternoon into the night to go over this presentation. So thank you, everybody, and we will see you on Monday. I am exiting now. Hold on. Computer's going a little slow.